All right, people, Catfish Dave here. I just got back from a 160-mile round trip video to catch just a few catfish. I ended up getting run out of there by high winds, about sunk my boat. Bottom line, this is 2 videos rolled into one. I haven't fished in about a month, and here we are at the beginning of March, and I decided I needed to make a video. Either way, I hadn't fished for a month, so I didn't know where to start, where to get bait, where the best place to fish was. I decided I would go to the big fish outfitters and just see if they had any shad in their tanks and buy some gizzard shad. Turns out they didn't have no gizzard shad. All right, people, Catfish Dave here. This is my first time out in about a month. There's some dag-blasted crow up here squawking on me. Hey, shut up. Either way, first time out in about a month. It's the beginning of March, and I don't know what's going on here yet. I just got my graph on here. Water temps. Hey, it says these shallower waters are in the mid-40s. That's what I'm reading right now. And the hardest part about catching these fish is getting the bait. I've got some old skipjack in here. The old frozen skipjack. It's been thawed out in this cooler about 5 days. I got an oversized shell cracker here. I got a more undersized shell cracker here. I'm assuming the main river is in the low 40-degree temp still, and I would like to have some shad. The hardest part about catching these fish is good quality bait, especially fresh bait. I've got everything in my boat. This box here is my skipjack box. I've got skipjack rods under here, which I don't expect to see any of that, but in case I do, I've got it. 2 different cast nets. I've got a deep water net, which is a tape net. I got one for more shallow. I'm gonna just briefly look around here to see if I can find any shad. You know, sometimes these shad are bunched up. You see them just stacked on your graph. They're easy to net. Sometimes they're all spread apart, and pretty hard to locate without some sort of live scope. So I don't know what is happening today, and we won't know until we get out here. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to turn my low branch on side skin, and woo, the throttle was up, man. Yeah. First time I've ever used this battery. Let's go ahead and back on up here. I tried to fish several days ago. Put everything in my boat, and boat wouldn't crank. This low wrench here likes to turn itself on. It'll turn itself on while you're asleep at night, and that's what happened. I had it hooked to my main motor here. I was using just one battery at the time to run my graphs and my motor. And so I got the boat in the water on a windy day and I couldn't start it, so that made for a difficult day on me. Had to wade in the water, man, just to get the boat back on the trailer. I just dropped off into 10 feet here, and I'm gonna see if I can find some gizzards. Let's see what time it is, y'all. It's later afternoon. It was in the 20s this morning, so it's 2:08. I guess it's dark around 6:30 or something. So we got about 4 hours on the river, roughly. And I'm going to spend the first part of that time just briefly cruising around, trying to see if I can locate some fresh shad. Water temps right here in 12 foot of water, 47 degrees. All right, y'all. I'm gonna cruise around here for a little bit. See if I can find any sort of nettable bait fish here. So far, I'm not seeing squat. A little patch of something there, and I mean just a little patch. Could be a little school of crappie or something. So far, the shallows aren't looking good. At least as far as up to 14 foot. I'm gonna cruise out this little creek channel here and follow it out to the main channel. When you haven't been fishing in a long time, you don't know where the bait's at, and you got to start all over from scratch. There could be one section of the river that's hot for shad, and 3/4 of the river not hot at all for shad. You got to hope you're in that right quarter of river. This time of year, it's not going to be that long from now when they all bunch up and start running upriver for spawn. Water temps are still cold, but it's March, so these shad are getting ready to do a little pre-spawn run. We are now at the edge of the main river channel, getting deeper. There's some fish right there. A ball of something. It's not showing up as big fish. If they're bigger fish, they'll usually show up on my side scan. And so far what I'm seeing is pretty small, dusty stuff. Okay, I'm starting to see some stuff here. There's fish here, but it seems to be real small. 33 feet. That looks like threadfins, and quite a bit of them actually. $33, $37. Yeah, that is small bait. Could be a couple better shad mixed in there. 39 foot, and I'm still seeing quite a bit of fish on the bottom here. So these fish have moved off the flats into the channel on the channel edge. And what I would like to do is see some bigger marks on my side scan. There's so much stuff out here. I'm gonna go ahead and just throw my net just to see what is down there. 39 foot right here. Big old take net. It's pretty hard to throw in this boat when it's set up for video and the camera's there and my rod holders are here, blah, 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 blah. This is a pretty good sized net. The old tape net. The good thing about a tape net is you don't have to make a perfect circle throw because the tape will cause it to spread out the deeper it gets. There is all kind of fish action, but it's pretty thick. I'm gonna ease a little more out here, a little deeper. And we'll see what this is out here. That is definitely threadfin shad right there. All right, y'all, there is a ton of bait here. It appears to be small bait, real small bait, but there could be some big stuff mixed in it. So we'll throw here, make the first throw. I'm gonna get my phone wet. Get that over there. We'll throw here. Hope we don't get a bunch of small catfish in the net. Like I say, the throw doesn't have to be perfect because it is a tape net. Just get it to open some. I've obviously got some current in the river here, so let me go ahead and follow this net. I'm not seeing marks like big gizzards, but there's so much small bait, you might not be able to tell. So this net is still sinking. These things sink pretty slow. Still sinking. I believe it hit bottom there. A tape net is hard to pull up, man. Hard to pull up. Feels like there's 400 pounds of stuff in it, and it can be empty. There's some shad. Some drum. We got a mixture of shad and drum here. Oh. That's it. Man, this net is in bad shape here. And I didn't get no little catfish, so that's good. Oh yeah. Some of them are thread fins. Some of them are gizzards. But we got plenty of good sized gizzards there, so get that old drum out of there. Get on out of there, drum. There's a lot of slime on this net, and when I get home, I'll pull this net out and rinse it off good. Get all that slime out of there. I'm going to start out getting rid of the shad that I know I'm not going to keep while they're still alive. I don't care for these thread fins. And I've got enough gizzards that I don't need these smaller gizzards either. So while these thread fins is kicking, we'll get them back in. Quite a few thread fins in here, but quite a few gizzards. And I prefer the gizzards. Small gizzard, I don't need him. We got one bag there, and I'm not going to get it too full, and I'll grab another bag here. Yeah, got enough bait for several trips here. Get the last of these up. All right, y'all, another half bag or so, and we're good. We'll go ahead and I got some thread fins floating around here. These birds will clean them up here. There's a lot of birds over there on that island over there. Let's go ahead and get our net out. Let's get set up. There's so many bait fish here right now. I'm gonna go ahead and we'll fish this channel. See what the water temps are out here. Yeah, water temps are 45 out here, so that'll work. We'll fish it because the bait's out here. Slightly warmer, shallow, but the bait is out here, so. We got bait. Some good old planer boards from Wesley Man. Spread 'em planer boards is the brand. Pretty much indestructible. You can step on them, bend the bar, and just bend the bar back up. You kind of want the bar bent slightly down like that. If it's up, the board won't pull right. I bend them slightly down, makes them pull a little harder. And that's it. Those clip on your lines. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of water come out of the back of my boat here, and I'm only going 0.8, so we might have a lot of current here. Let me slow it on down to 0.3. Grab some of the shad here. Tell you what I'm gonna do. Pull out 2 shad, and I'm gonna cut a piece of bluegill. You never know in 40-degree water, right? My guess is shad would be the better bait, but you just don't know. So let's cut him up real quick. Someone had told me that the catfish they were catching were just bloated, blown up. Stomachs were full, their buttholes were hanging out, and probably what that's from is a shad kill we had back in the winter. So if there was a shad kill and these fish are really bloated, they might prefer something like a bluegill that's less oily. So we'll try both here. I trim the fins off the bluegill, them old bony things. And yeah. I've got some new hooks. The old strychnine hooks from Chasing Cat Outdoors. I've got the new hooks on this side of the boat, and I'm using my old owner SSWs on the other side. So let's give this a toss. That bait is as fresh as you can get. 41 foot right here. And it's going to get deeper upriver, so I may let out some extra line. The river gets deeper, about 20 foot deeper, so let's let out plenty of line. Just to be sure. I'll put a gizzard shad on the red boards, and I'll put that bluegill on the yellow boards. You never know. Shad will outfish bluegill most of the time, but I've seen days where you got lots of bites on the shad and the only big fish you caught was on the bluegill, so you just never know. When I lock this board in, it'll tell me how much current I've got. It could be going so strong it pulls the board loose. We'll see here in a minute. Let's see here. It's pulling pretty good. I haven't locked it completely tight. I'm doing it with my thumb gradually so it don't pop loose. I'm gonna lock it there. It should stay on. And since I've got plenty of flow in the river, I will probably slow the boat way down. Drag nice and slow. I'll tell you what, I'm gonna have to shed this sweatshirt I've got on under here, because it is, yeah, I've got a lot of current. See when I stop it how hard that board's pulling? A lot of flow in the river. This old shad here is still kicking. I'm gonna pull these boards out in the channel, and then I'm gonna have a couple baits right up on the channel ledge. I think when I get this out, I'm gonna take this coat off. This side I don't have to let as much line out, because it will kinda, where I'm gonna be up on the ledge, it's not gonna drop off as deep. Yeah, that board has really got some current on it. Yeah, it started off cold and breezy, and I thought it was going to stay that way. All right, y'all, we've got everything out. I've slowed the boat down to 0.3 because I've got plenty of current to keep my boards nice and wide. So since the river's flowing good and the water temps are in the 40s, 44.96 right now. Keep an eye on my graph. So far, I'm not seeing any signs of catfish, but that could change at any time. Go ahead and drink of water. Have me a seat. Well, all right, y'all, I don't need this side skin right now. We'll just go ahead and power it off. Yeah, that stinking low rinse powers itself on. It killed my battery. So I've got a separate starting battery just for the motor, and I've got an old lead acid trolling motor battery running my graphs and my lights, and I'm going to change that out for a much lighter lithium. I've got some new lithium trolling motor batteries, some lie times. I'm going to try the cheaper lie times because the ionics gave me a lot of trouble for as much as I paid for them. And when I put those cheaper lie times up front, I'm going to take one of those ionics, which is, you know, about 20 pounds lighter than this lead acid, and I'll run my graphs off it. That'll drop 20 pounds off the back end of my boat. They make these starting batteries that don't weigh 10, 11 pounds that will start your motor, but they're lithium, and I just don't know, with what I've experienced with lithium, especially in cooler weather, I just don't trust it for a starting motor. They got all this computerized stuff that makes them go to sleep on you and all that. When it comes time to go home, I want my motor to start for sure, so we went with an old Interstate lead acid starting battery. Oh, that's on the bluegill. That's on the bluegill. And he feels good. He feels good. My drag's a little loose. He feels good. On the bluegill. First bite. I need to tighten this drag up a little bit. Yeah. All right. Oh yeah. There he is. Oh yeah. Uh-oh. He's a pulling. Come on in here, fishy. There he is. On the old, I think that was on that headpiece. And I hooked that head. I didn't hook it through the lip, so. Yeah, he's got mud all on the side. I didn't hook it on the lip, so I lost him. But I get a better hook set with him hooked through the back, so we don't have a lot of that old shell cracker, but that's the first thing that caught a fish. Yeah. Got mud all up in here. Ouch. The old owner hook got him right in the top there. Oh man, there we go. First one. Mud all over his side here. Straighten out for the camera, if you will. He ain't gonna straighten out much. If he had any real size to him, I'd spin that boat out of the sun. Get in there. All right. Shell cracker head. Got the first fish. You just never know what these fish are gonna eat. Find me a rag, y'all. Yeah. That's a big old shell cracker. What that is, big old shell cracker. That's gonna be a big headpiece right there. You know, I don't necessarily want a big bait in the winter, but if they're wanting lower calorie, oh shoot, that's on the bluegill or the shell cracker. Didn't even get that shell cracker cut up. I don't think my board kicked loose. There it goes. Look there, y'all. Twice hit on this old shell cracker. This is the center chunk. Like I say, man, these fish could be just stuffed with shad and might not want it that much. Yeah. Wonder if we'll get the bait back here. The fact that both rods that went down with the shell cracker on lets me know it's not a fluke. That's something they're preferring. Yeah, he feels decent too. Since I've got this mess over here, bring him around this side. I tell you what, I'm still a little warm. I've got sweatpants on under these bibs here. I may have to pull this sweatshirt off here. Come on up here. Get off the back of my motor there. There we go. Another fish. Not a bad one. And we lost the bait. He got it. This is on this new strychnine hook. Come on up here. Yeah. They liking that old shell cracker for bait. Ugh. Get on out of the way there. The old shad ain't been touched. It's got a sore on the side of his jaw there. Strychnine hook from Ouch, Chasing Outdoors. Tell you what, these hooks don't have a really big barb on them, but they have a pretty hard bend, almost like a kale hook. Come on out of there. There we go. Come on now. Don't act silly. Yeah. You're gonna stay bent on camera. Fish number 2. On shell cracker. And all we got left is this big shell cracker. Now, it's big. Be some big baits. Well, y'all, I have not seen the first catfish on my actual screen. That's telling me, even when I was catching them, I didn't see nothing. And they had mud on them, so these fish are down in the mud. And they're not picking up on the sonar real well. A lot of them could be inactive in this cold water. Well, y'all, so far it's tough. We got them 2 back to back and a couple small bites, and that's been it, man. It's been about 35 minutes now without a bite, and I am not seeing nothing on the graph. This current is flowing hard. I can see it really kicking out of my boat. I can see my boards leaving a trail behind them. 3 different kind of baits out there. You think something would happen? Well, all right, y'all. We went through a pretty dead area there of no bites. I went ahead and been about 40 minutes since I caught the last 2 fish, so not marking nothing on my screen. We're coming into a hole section now. I went ahead and sped my motor up some. You can see how hard those boards are pulling. sped up to 0.5, just trying to get into this gradually deeper water up here just to see if anything changes. And if it doesn't, we may take an hour or so and pull this flat over here. Not a lot of time today. The biggest reason I came out was I've got to take somebody to a surgery tomorrow, but the day after that, I would like to drive downriver to some better waters, and I already have bait. So that's what today's trip was about. And I've got some shad, so we'll keep pressing on. That's all we can do. Well, all right, y'all. It's been an hour and a half since we doubled up on 2 fish in the channel. Had 2 more bites on shad. I'm like, well, we're doing the right thing. And that kept me staying in the channel, and nothing is happening. I have not marked one time anything that I would say is a catfish. Now, I didn't mark them when I caught them, but a lot of these fish could be just buried up and inactive. So water temp's 45 degrees. We've only got about an hour and a half left. We can't do no worse pulling up into this flat. Maybe we'll have time to pull a little bit of the flat and maybe go back into that creek some, because I've eased my way into some of the deeper water now and nothing has changed. So I say we pull in, and I get hung up a lot pulling that over there, but I would rather catch fish than not catch fish. So let's go ahead and pull everything in. Let's get over there on that flat. All right, y'all, we're going. I don't know how long we'll go before we get hung up in here, but I have pulled this before and I have been hung up. 10 foot of water right now. Oh yeah, I can see the bottom. It's pretty rubbly. Throw the center chunk of skipjack out. I'm hung up already. Gosh dang it. There's a bite right there. And we're hung up on one rod. I missed a bite there. I may have to pull all this in just to get that, y'all. Yeah, I knew there was some hang-ups here. Sometimes you can bounce this thing and get it to come up over. Nope, we're not getting it to come up over. I gotta pull all this in, y'all, and go get it. We just got put out. Good Lord. And it came loose. Thank you. Just big old rock it was stuck behind. Oh, I'm getting hung up here now. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, there's a lot of rock in here. I just got everything put out. I sure don't need that getting hung up now. Water temps are warmer than the main channel, just a little bit. Don't get hung up. Don't get hung up. You're hung up. Gosh dang it. Gosh dang it. Well, all right, y'all. We're just beating a dead horse here. This is the warmest water temps I've seen back here. We're all the way up to 51 degrees. Once we doubled up on those 2 fish, that was it. We fished the channel for another hour and a half. I pulled a good 30, 40 minutes up on that flat, come back here into this creek, and we're not even getting small bites, not even little dink blue cats or channel cats. We're pulling 3 different kinds of bait here. So you're pulling 3 different kinds of bait. You've covered all these scenarios. These fish, for whatever reason, have got lockjaw. Don't you shit on me. I couldn't fish the next day. I had to take someone to a surgery. That took all day. So the following day, I made another attempt. Now, what killed the bite in Fort Loudon was dropping water. We had had a lot of rain about a month ago. Everything was high, everything was flowing. Well, they were draining the lakes back down for winter pool. And so I got to looking at my TVA app and what dams were running what. And I realized Fort Loudon was dropping hard. Watts Bar was dropping even harder. So I got to looking, and the lake that had the best possibility, besides going all the way down to Nickajack, was Chickamauga. Watts Bar Dam was currently running over 60,000 CFM. I said, okay, I'll go there and do some bumping. As I checked my weather, I knew driving that far to go fish was probably not a good idea. They were talking 25 mile an hour sustained winds with 58 mile an hour gusts that were going to start at 1 o'clock. I had to catch more fish for this video, so Watts Bar Dam, I decided to go. All right, people, Catfish Dave here. Long time no see. It is the beginning of March, and I am below Watts Bar Dam. The reason for that is we had a lot of flooding a month or so ago, and now they're trying to drop the lakes again. So Fort Loudon and Watts Bar are dropping hard. I didn't want to go to Chattanooga because I might not even be able to stay here. They're forecasting 25 mile an hour winds with 58 mile an hour gusts. This wind is starting to blow upriver. If that happens in here with the strong current, I'm going to have to get out of here before my boat gets sunk. It'll get bad, but it's not bad right now. So we're going to fish it, probably do some bumping or bottom bouncing. I've heard the bite is bad. Everybody's telling me the bite is bad and they're only catching small fish. And that's because we had a pretty good shad kill about a month ago. And so these fish are stuffed from that shad kill. What we do have going for us is a lot of flow in the river. And when they tend to run these floodgates, it tends to bring fish. So let's try it. I've done drifted a mile downriver trying to start this video. I'm going to stop here before we get all the way up because it takes a while to get this trolling motor down and all that. So I'm going to go ahead and put a bait on the hook here. Old gizzard shad's all I got. Go ahead and cut the other one up. This way we'll have this already done because this current's going so fast, by the time you cut your bait, you've lost 100 yards of fishing. So, go ahead and get bait on the hook. That wind is blowing pretty good now, but it's going crossways. Well, no, it's not. It's coming up behind me. It might get rough out here. If it does, we'll have to go to the lake somewhere and try to get in the cove. They said about 1 o'clock it's going to get bad, and it's around noon. It's 1 o'clock. That's why it's getting bad. That's what they said. I'm going to have to wear this. Yeah, it's rough out here. Turn my prop on. Yeah, it's getting rough out here. You have to constantly adjust your speed doing this, so you feel your weight hitting the bottom. Dropped into a hole or something there. Go ahead and back off my prop here. Not hitting the bottom. There we go. Now we're on bottom. A lot going on in this bumping. You see me reeling back in. I need to pick my prop up one more time. Get it about 10 here. I can see on my graph we're fixing to go over a little dip, so that might be where we get hit. We're moving downriver using the trolling motor to slow us down a little bit. That keeps plenty of tension on my line so I can bounce this bait. Yeah, that wind's getting rough. Well, y'all, we've been about 200 yards now, and I ain't had the first nibble here, which is odd, which rare. Usually you've had a couple small bites by now. Now, they said the bite was bad. We'll keep pressing on. Got a bite. There we go, we're hooked up. Yeah. We're hooked up. I'm going to go ahead and release my prop here. So we go down river with him. A lot of current here. He don't feel real big, but pulling against this current, yeah, they get bigger. Yeah. Old small fry. But hey, we'll take it. How good you hooked there, brother? Yeah. We got one. This wind is getting bad. Come on. Old small fry to start the day. Go ahead and turn my prop on here. Yeah, that wind is getting bad. We got one boat, he's heading back. It'll get rough out here. It'll get hard to put the boat back on the trailer. There we go. There we go. There we go. I felt him bite. Yeah. I felt him bite. And go ahead and turn this prop off again. It's getting rough out here, y'all. Oh, he come off. He come off. Did he? Did he come off? Or is he on? I think he's on. I thought he'd come off, man. He's going upriver. He rolled and it felt like he'd come off. This is a better fish here. Yeah, he's pulling a little drag. Matter of fact, he's pulling quite a bit of drag there. We're going to get the boat sunk trying to get this fish in. Yeah, we got a better one on here now. There we go. That other boat's heading back for Dodge now. It's getting bad out here. Starting to white cap. Yeah. He's staying back by my prop here. Oh, he's right in the prop. Get out of my 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 prop. He went right in that prop. Nicer fish there. Yeah, we're gonna have to get out of here, y'all. It's getting rough. We'll get the boat sunk in a minute. Come on up here, big boy. Come on up here. We got him. Yeah. Oh, that's a decent one. Woo. Yeah. Okay. Well, pop a little picture of them. Straighten out. Straighten out. Trying to get him to straighten out for a picture here, and he don't want to. He ain't going to. He's going to keep that tail right at me. Yeah. All right, y'all. That's decent. Woo. Unless it acts like it's going to back off. But they say we can get gusts up to 58 mile an hour. And coming up river, that can get really bad. Water temps are in the 40s. I don't want to get wet. Yeah, it's too dangerous if that wind picks up anymore, so. All right, y'all, I've got to wait for these boats to put back on the trailer here. So if I got to wait, I'm gonna stick out here just a little longer. I've got my net put up, but I'm gonna make one more run up here. Oh, oh, look at all these logs and debris coming down river all of a sudden. Holy crap, I almost hit that with my prop. There's a bunch of logs and stuff out here. They may have shut down a couple gates while I'm sitting here, and what that does is these gates will trap stuff up in the corners, and when they shut them off, it releases, because we're getting a lot of big stuff coming down river here. I'll have to be careful going up river. Big logs out here. That's all I need is to make my main motor where I can't use it, tear the prop up or something. Yeah, I've got a lot of trash coming all of a sudden. So we're gonna have to ease up here so I don't hit no tree. I've got my net put up because we may have to get out of Dodge fast here. Let's make another run here. Now the problem, if they did turn a couple gates off, that can hurt the bite, and it can also make it hard for me to get back on the ramp. For some reason this prop ain't staying right. That's because I did not hit the heading button on it. Let's get back up. Oh, Jesus. Come on, prop. Let her rip. Yeah, if it gets bad, these waves can come up over the back of the boat, so. Let me slow this prop down a little bit here. Yeah, I almost went home. If I got a fish on? Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. Go ahead and stop right here. I'm just going to pull him in. He's not that big. Well, spot lock here. Come on up here, fish. Woo, they hard to pull in that current. Come on up here. I wouldn't pull a big fish like this because you can rip the hook out of their mouth, but come on up here. There we go. Fish number 3. Come on up here. Little one. Oh, number 3. Yeah. Yeah, they've shut off about 4 of those floodgates. There's still 5 of them going, so that's not good for the bite when they do that. All right, y'all, it's getting rough. I'm gonna call it. It's a shame about the wind, but we got a decent fish anyway. Good, great. I'm getting soaked. The water temps are in the 40s, so yeah, oh God, I'm getting soaked. It's a lot of work to catch these catfish sometimes. Would you go through all that to catch catfish? Either way, this is a video. There was some fish in the video. That makes it a fishing video. This is Catfish Dave with another one, signing out.